right, so first up, we're going to start right into the program. We have Pat O'Donnell and Eugene Williams doing Building Your Brand whenever and wherever possible. So Pat spent 25 years in broadcasting. He was a reporter, photographer, assignment editor, and news director in several markets around the country. In 1986, he went to work for Boeing in Wichita, developing an internal TV network. After that, for 15 years, he was a development director for 2 nonprofit organizations. His father-in-law was a Rotarian in Iowa. His daughter is past president of the Overland Park Club, and he is now president. You're president now, correct? Not president-elect. President of the Olathe Club. His claim to fame, or interesting thing, once while he was visiting Robert Redford's Sundance Mountain Resort with family, he told his sister-in-law, starting to wonder if I can believe Pat on things, that he was a personal friend of Robert Redford, only to learn that he was standing right behind him. And then I'm going to also do Eugene's right now, and then Eugene's going to come up. They're splitting their time here. Eugene is the general manager of KTWU-TV and has an extensive background in broadcast and film, which includes work with CBS, CNN, NBC, the National Science Foundation, and numerous local stations. At the national level, he served as a member of the Public Broadcasting System Board of Directors. He's a graduate of 2 prestigious programs of National Association of Broadcasters, the Management Development Seminar for Television Executives, and the Broadcast Leadership Training Program, both at Northwestern University. He's a member of the Downtown Topeka Club, and he's served as the chair of its community service efforts. He's also the vice chair of the Downtown Topeka Rotary Foundation, and in March of 2016, he was inducted into the Topeka Business Hall of Fame. He's a 5-time Emmy winner. I think we need autographs after this. Has been nominated 9 times. He's hosted a variety of TV shows, pageants, and political debates. And his interesting fact, probably my favorite of the day, he loves to color. He loves to color. So, Pat, go ahead. It's all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I need to preface this by saying this presentation is a work in progress because we're getting information still. Our multi-district public image campaign just ended last week, so we're still gathering data. This is a preview of what we're going to show at Zone at Larry's request. So last spring, in discussion with District Governor Adam, we said, what can we do different to gain attention for Rotary and work on the public image? Our thinking was awareness, more especially when you look at the variety of markets within our district. The Manhattan Club does a marvelous job of getting in the newspaper every week. That isn't going to happen in Johnson County, Kansas City. So we've got kind of a dilemma. So we started brainstorming and we came up with the idea, let's do a collaborative effort. And that's where this campaign went. The 4 district governors in our area, covering all of Kansas and northwest Missouri, agreed that we should work together, and we could work together. So I really commend them to allow us to kind of jump into this effort. All the districts in 17 of our 161 clubs contributed financially. Some gave a little bit, some gave a lot. And it didn't matter to us as long as we could raise some money to do this. And then, to our great surprise, Rotary International kicked in about the same amount of money that we raised. District Governor Adam wanted to make sure we mentioned this because all you district governors know about the Rotary Trinity. Without membership, you don't have foundation. Without public image, you don't have membership, and so on and so forth. So these all work hand in hand. What we did is work with the board's Grand Center staff and membership staff in Evanston and National Public Radio. This is how it started. And your humble public image there, that's a recent picture of me. My grandchildren didn't look like it, but anyway, we all worked together in developing this. The original thought was, can we raise enough money and get on public radio and do something drive time, morning and afternoon, and cover the whole state. We couldn't do this with commercial stations. It just wouldn't be feasible. But public radio has collaborative agreements between all these stations, and they said, yes, we'll help you. We'd be interested in working on this. So that gave us radio coverage from all of Kansas, and we even leaked into Oklahoma, Nebraska, and other areas. But we covered all of our districts.
Those stories coming up 5 minutes from now as KCR's Morning Edition continues. KCR is supported by Rotary Clubs of Kansas and Northwest Missouri, whose members see solutions instead of problems in their communities. Rotary Club members are people of action brought together to try to do one thing, make more good things happen. Learn more at findrotary.org.
That was one of 3 spots that were on all these stations, and they ran for 4 weeks. The campaign had a value of just about $28,000 between what RI put in and what the clubs put in. So we were really pleased with that, and that gave us the ability to do quite a bit. But even though we started with the idea of just public radio, with the support we received, we were able to do more. As you can see, we did billboards. That was 52% of the expense. We did low power TV. There's a low power operation that covers, and you'll see in an upcoming slide, areas that are rural that don't get cable, or it serves people, many people are cutting their cable now, and they're just going over the air. So that gave us another outlet. We did 5 public radio stations, Facebook and Instagram. We were on the Kansas City Star, Wichita Eagle, and Topeka Capital Journal websites with a pre-rolled 10-second video that you'll see coming up. And then we had a little expense on buying the domain findrotary.org, which our district owns. We directed everything to findrotary.org. That's the 10-second video. Now, you can't find that, as Brand said. The staff helped me get this from the Evanston communication people. So this ran on Instagram, Facebook, and on the newspaper pre-roll websites. There was no voice. It just ran like this. From the reports we're getting from Facebook and Instagram, 35,000 people were reached, and there were 56,000 views of this 10-second video. Here's a screenshot of how it looked on Instagram. Just an aside, I love to cook, and I get a lot of recipes that are video that I like to watch. And I watched this one for a Mexican dish, and before I could watch the recipe, this ad popped up. So that really made me feel. We had some fun reaction from some of the Rotarians that I saw. Mr. Governor West said, great exposure. Vanessa, loved it. It gave me a great sense of pride. Our billboards, this was kind of tricky because we had to figure out where we could put them. We only had 7 boards, but RI paid for them. So we spread them around. We had some in western Kansas, in Topeka. Let's see, this one's at 17th and Wanamaker, Topeka. And that one is over on the Missouri side in Kansas City. But we totaled the number of impressions from Lamar Outdoor. It's 4,600,000 impressions of those billboards.
That story in 7 minutes.
Another
support comes from the Kansas City Symphony, with season subscriptions now available for the upcoming 2018-2019 classical series, featuring Beethoven's 7th, Mozart's Jupiter, Carmina Burana, and more. Details are online at kcsymphony.org. And the 161 Rotary clubs of Kansas and Northwest Missouri, a diverse group of neighbors and business leaders who are people of action seeking to make a positive impact in their communities. Learn more at findrotary.org.
Interesting, on that copy, one of the things we had to do was negotiate between the brand center, who wanted us to use the Rotary approved copy, and what NPR would allow. The 5 NPR stations had 3 different standards for what they would allow. We had to put the word where Rotarians are seeking to make a difference, rather than are making a difference. Because NPR said, well, how do you know you're so I said, okay, but there was a lot of back and forth and working with staff in Evanston to say, how can we adhere to the brand standards of people of action, but yet meet the Rotary or NPR standards. We were also able to put a 30-second spot, which you'll see in a minute, at the Jumbotron at T-Bones. And that reached 250,000 fans over their whole season. And Adam's still running that. And that was free grabs. Here's the coverage map of the low power stations. They ran the 30-second spot 1,000 times. So you can see it covered quite a bit of the rural area down to Emporia, quite a bit of our district and District 64. Thanks to Eugene, the station, our public station in Topeka ran the 30-second spot 906 times. Hopefully they'll continue that. Not to put it on the slide. Here's that 30-second spot. You'll pardon the talent. We had to change the voiceover. This one is on the brand center, but we needed to modify it to say findrotary.org.
Possibilities are all around us. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action in communities all around the world. Together, we can make real changes happen. We're Rotary, people of action. Get involved at findrotary.org.
So that's the 30-second spot that ran on the public station, on the low power stations, and on some of our Facebook sites. So some of the lessons learned from this so far, we need to do a better job of communicating and not relying on our normal channels saying, oh, we'll put that in our Rotary newsletter later at the end of the month. We've got to get creative because I'm hearing many Rotarians didn't even know we were doing this. And so that's a big lesson learned. We need to make it special, make it different when we are communicating a special effort like this. Not all will agree. I heard from some of the clubs that said, we don't want our message on public radio. It's too liberal. So, okay. So we had to value those differing opinions. Budget and plan further in advance, I think, would have helped us. Be ready to negotiate. We mentioned the RI. Trying to get through the morass of buying public or buying social media, it's all different because you can't call and talk to someone at Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn and say, I want to buy this, I want to advertise. You just got to know it and figure it out. And I've recommended to RI staff that they consider providing clubs and districts some training. How do we do this? And it's okay to take a risk. Some of the other hard facts, we know staff is pulling information now from their database. There are 17 solid leads for the 4 districts, membership leads, that have been sent to the district membership chair. Findrotary.org, they've recorded 363 hits so far on that website. This shows some tracking that they're doing. TV and outdoor had the most interest. And then social and digital had, drove the most to the website. So that's kind of interesting, and they're still measuring that. This shows where the hits came from. We were kind of surprised Toronto and Chicago, but Russell had 15, so Western Kansas, you know, we made an impact there.
We get finder's fee in Chicago.
Yeah. Some other impact reactions. I'm hearing sense of pride, hearing and seeing Rotary in the public view. The campaign did more for retention than recruitment. Our club is looking for more ways to do this. I know one of the Johnson County clubs is already trying to get plans to extend this, and others didn't know about it. We have some reactions from some of our past district governors. Vicki said it made her heart swell with pride. Thank you, Vicki. John Hartwell, is there a plan that evolves from this? Or is this a nice initiative that makes us feel good? Dear John says it's worth doing, even if it fails miserably, because then we work. Thank you, John. So, with that, how can we build on this effort?
I will be